RPM Trey Vietnam in this bitch. What's going on? Man, as I always suspect, every morning I wake up, I have total expectation that something on a global scale, at the very least a national scale, but even on a local scale, there's going to be some mix of government business, media, and lies that is totally going to dictate the entire political vibe in my life and in the rest of the fucking world. They always got some shit going on every fucking day. Tired of it. Simple observations like any fear that we would ever have of a nuclear conflict that can involve you. How the fuck, think about that shit. As normal and as regular as you are, you're a regular ass motherfucker, right? Now imagine something as global. I can't think of a bigger a bigger topic of conversation when you want to talk about violence, negativity, global influence. This shit will send you into an existential fucking crisis. The level of violence that government can offer the world is fucking insane. Every day, you have to face that shit, that you might be involved in some shit that you can't name these weapons. You don't know the nigga who got clearance to even be around these motherfucking weapons. You just know that they're there and that people are posturing. And if something like nuclear conflict can involve you in a real fear, a sincere and honest fucking topic of discussion on the fucking table in your life, you have to say whoever is behind all of this is a fucking psycho to get us all in the mix like this. This is insane. It's insanity. It's violent insanity. To get me to ask me to respect it, to vote, it is a slap in the fucking face. I don't think people understand this shit, and I'm very disappointed in the fact that I can even say these things as clear as I try to say these things directly to people who claim to be intelligent, and they won't understand, or they will refuse to apply said information or perspective. It's insane to me. Very disturbing that all I have to do is say, I don't like the initiation of force and violence. It sounds like a moral thing. That's a moral position. It's an undeniable moral position above anything any less than that. As soon as you back away from that, to move away from the sentiment that I just expressed, you are further and further beneath me on a moral scale, and thus I would not even have to listen to you, respect you, or even grant you any safety in an exchange between me and you. I don't even got to promise you no safety or nothing. I don't got to promise you shit. The deal, all humanitarian deals are off the table when you talk about me and government. They're insane. No respect from me. Do you fucking understand? Damn, where would I get it from? You got to start acting like a bitch to go, but the civil rights said, they wanted niggas to vote, and niggas died for you to do this. Trey, you not gonna vote? No, I'm not gonna vote. That is my vote. To completely deny any level of participation at any angle that I can, because they get you up in contracts and shit. You involved. This is the fucking hell that you're born into. Government control, man. You gonna get involved. They gonna knock your ass out too. Fucking Debo shit. They just Deboed the whole fucking planet right now. That's what they doing, man. You want me to respect that shit? I will not. Kiss my dick. Y'all sound crazy. Don't even expect for me to. The expectation is a disrespect to my entire fucking soul that I will ever intentionally align myself with them, root for them, or back down when they say back down. When it's all of us and them, and it's them, you get the fuck out of here. Y'all some bitches for real. Y'all really just some bitches. For real, just scared, man. Scared that you don't know what to do. That's why they scare the fuck out of y'all with all these big ass weapons and all of these big acts of war. Then they make you stupid. So if it's hard for you to figure them out and find any chinks in their armor at all, kinks, chinks, whatever, which is easy to do. It's more of us than it is of them, and that's an advantage that you guys are downplaying. Why y'all talking all tough and shit this past 4th of July? All this fucking patriotism and all y'all some bitches for real. Fucking goofies. Can't nobody fuck with the freedom, not even DC. That's super easy. Don't that sound like the best moral position to put yourself into? It's to say that when you say nobody can fuck with the freedom, you also mean DC. They better not. Then what kind of sentiment is that for you to be standing on some freedom if you will grant any group of people to actually get a fucking green light to do that? Right in your face and make you cheer for that shit. They make y'all cheer for a constitution. When they say, yo, these rights are debatable now. I thought the whole point was telling them that the shit was undebatable. Right? Huh? What? Where the fuck are y'all? Y'all some hoes, bro. Bitches. Pussies. Goofies. Scared and stupid. But for what? It's easy to crack their code. Get the fuck out of here. Who the fuck are they really? A bunch of violent fucking people. A bunch of fucking initiators. Sparking all types of conflict and then blaming me for my reaction. Get the fuck out of here. I ain't never ever... I grew up in a little bit of a hood. There's some shit going on. People died and shit growing up. People close to us died. You know, niggas was selling drugs and shit like that. Shit got scary. You get involved. You get in street fights. You, your cousins, and your friends, 7, 15, 12 of y'all against, 20 other little group of little niggas fighting over whatever because everybody wanted to defend whoever was in the initial spark of this conflict. Everybody go come run to defend whoever that is. And now y'all numbering up, right? Niggas get to fighting. If niggas get jumped, beat up, caught by themselves and shit gets serious. Niggas start getting real offended by being chased down, beat up, jumped. Somebody get jumped real bad, somebody get stabbed, niggas start shooting, shit starts happening. It's a total development, and I walk right through it and went skirt out. I'm out of here. I can't rock like this, can't live like this. I'm not finna keep on pushing for these situations to happen. I'm not gonna be calling niggas out. Get my ass to school, get my ass to college, leave Freeport. That's what I did. But watching this mentality develop, not that you can ever like truly honor any level of violence like that, really, when there's a whole lot of initiation of the violence, a lot of bullying, intimidation and shit, innocent bystanders, all types of other shit that come along with that totally taints this warrior arena that sometimes these young boys find themselves in the streets, right? But I find it to be way more morally superior, honorable, and expected that if some little niggas in the streets I don't give a fuck what happened. If this nigga brother got killed in a drive-by or some niggas ran up and just started shooting to a crowd and this nigga brother got killed, I cannot expect for him to not arm himself if he's worried that that's going to happen to him too, especially if the killers don't get caught or there's a whole bunch of people involved that he never know where they at. They all on the internet, all in the streets or whatever, making threats and looking and making it known that they... Whoever don't carry a gun in that situation is a fucking retard. I would. I'll break every fucking law in the book to fucking protect my life. The fuck is wrong with y'all? Are you insane? To be acting like cultural and racial fucking differences should be at the forefront of these discussions when we're talking about whatever divide it is in this fucking country. And we can't look at the cultural situations or the environmental situations that make these things happen. I find that to be way more honorable to grab your gun and say, whoever killed my brother, that nigga gonna die. If it's up to me, that's way more fucking honorable and expected than enlisted in a fucking army at 18 years old to go fight for a baker's war, a lie, a ritual. The fuck out of here. Y'all don't want to just say shit like that. Y'all all on this racial divide, black and white and all this other bullshit. That shit is dumb. We can look at these cultural fucking things and realize, number one, these differences shouldn't even be differences. Number two, we are kind of the same a little bit in more ways than we would think. And number three, we got bigger fish to fry, yo. Because if you can take a fucking magnet and sift it and run it over dirt and soil and pick up, I don't know, whatever this fucking metal is I've been seeing people do lately, these little experiments and shit, it makes you wonder, like, what is that? What is all of that? Does that mean anything at all? You should look into this shit so that you don't look right at something that really pertains to information and discoveries that you'd be happy to bear witness to. Yourself later that you can just know a little bit more about the world when you know that the world is way above your fucking head in everything. You don't understand the banking system or nothing, man. The government system, legalese and shit. Come on, bro. The entire world is so crazy, and all of these systems of control are swarming all over the place, bro. They are really hoping to lose you, bro. Because it takes so many different factions and departments and what it is that they doing for them to hold this together. If they can keep your mind fragmented and keep you separated from your fucking neighbor over anything at all that they can think of, they know that they got the upper hand on you. That even in their flaws, where the system may break, you are not going to see them. And if you do, you're going to be too weak and confused about what to actually do to them, that you wouldn't even be able to stop them either. And that's what they counting on. That's why y'all got to stop this bullshit, all this madness. You motherfuckers say, try that shit in a small town, as if that's some kind of a moral position for you to take defensively. But if you see a shootout of some young niggas on the fucking internet, thank you, Instagram. If you see that, you gotta know that half of that fucking conflict is acting in pure, righteous self-defense. And nobody ever says that part. Because I won't give a fuck what the law says. If I got a gun on me because I'm worried about my life, then I got that gun. I don't really care. And if niggas slide and we get to shooting, y'all call that black on black violence, I see half of that situation is self-defense. Some self-defense that I would agree with, you would agree with. You said try that shit in a small town. You fucking goofy. Now shut y'all dumbasses up. Sit your ass at the kiddie table. Let the grown men fucking iron this shit out because y'all some childish bitches. I'm tired of the racial divide and all that dumbass shit. You motherfuckers are way more alike than what the fuck you think. And the divide is always so rooted in the pettiest, dumbest shit that y'all can't be honest about life and observations, man. None of my kids are ever enlisted in a fucking army. Are you insane? Y'all don't know who killed Kennedy. World War I, II, and fucking Vietnam War was some bullshit. The most highly protested fucking war in this fucking country, the Vietnam War. I adopted that fucking name. It wasn't an accident. I know what the fuck I was doing. Beyond the protest is what it is that I'm doing. I chose the name Vietnam for a reason. I wanted it to remind you of something. That they lied to get us into war when we begged them not to. None of the begging is ever going to work. All that political, peaceful love and peace and blah, 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 peace sign, daisies and shit. That shit don't work. It don't work. Did it work? Did it stop them? No. No, no. They just move forward. They'll trample over you. They don't give a fuck. The initiators, bro. I don't gotta like them. Who the fuck in the world is gonna listen to me and go, Trey, I think you're wrong, man. You gotta loosen up and give in. I don't gotta loosen up and give in to nothing. Don't disrespect my soul by asking me to be okay with them. I'm offended, man. Y'all are weird. Y'all are weird, man. Show me a Trump supporter. Tell him to listen to me now. Don't ask me to like them, goofy. You're lost in the sauce, bro. They got you. What the fuck would you give a fuck about a Trump, man? They is painting a superhero story out of this man, and I've been said that they was gonna do that shit. You can see it coming. He's so polarizing. They don't want to let this man life go without fight. You think Trump would die in a car crash, tragically, like a year ago? No, they need him for the theater, bro. He ain't going nowhere. And look at him right here, like a movie, bro, playing this role, man. He got an IMDb. Y'all can kiss my dick. He's an actor. He's an admitted actor. So was Reagan. Are there any correlation between him and Ronald Reagan at all? MAGA, what the fuck is that? Make America great again. Reagan said that shit. The actor. Fucking goofies. MAGA is the highest level in the fucking Church of Satan, man. That's what they call it. I think there's 5 levels. That's the 5th one. Y'all play too much. Fuck y'all, bruh. Leave me alone. I don't gotta trust that shit. Trusting it means, especially if you trust it because they said so, y'all tweaking, bruh. If they can get you to just move like that or anything that might sound conspiratorial, you get to dismiss all that. You can be fooled by anything. That's what that means to me. If you think conspiracy theories are dumb and people playing too much by acting like that and thinking that everything is everything, what you're telling me when I hear you say that silly ass childish shit is that you can be fooled by anything. It'll be easier to fool you than it would to fool me. Because I don't run off on fucking conspiracy theories thinking that they're absolutely fucking true and that I need to act on them too. I think a lot of that shit be real. As a matter of fact, though, real talk, 10% of the top 20 conspiracies you can think of. Now take 10% of the information that they can base that conspiracy theory on these conspiracy theories. If 10% of this shit is true, we have a problem. So, crime scene detective, do you need to witness a murder for you to say that you have enough substantial evidence to say that you know that there was a murder, and then and only then will you investigate the murder? Shut the fuck up. If there's a missing person report, a pool of blood, and some disruption to their cell phone fucking service and their credit card had been fucking run dry, you're gonna know you might have just bear witness to some high circumstantial evidence of a crime scene, no less. There's probably been a fucking murder. Shut the fuck up. This is a crime scene, bro. You know something wrong. And y'all out here playing like some bitches. Then I'm supposed to be okay with a conspiracy theory even looking remotely close to being true. And I said, then I can't, man, look. No, I'm going to probably look into some shit. I'm going to look into some shit, man. This is a crime scene investigation. Nothing gets by me. If I'm wrong, I will say I'm wrong. If I'm right or possibly right, I will keep that in a little bit. I'm not going to fucking modify my entire fucking life, living my life as if I need action right now because these conspiracy theories aren't true. I can't go crash out because of this information that I have. That's not what it's about. It's not about getting all of this information so you can crash out and go do something per se. What you can do, and the only thing you really need to do, is to have enough circumstantial evidence that once you want to proverbially or metaphorically file charges against this controlling ass government, what you can do is possibly very literally file charges. I think we should clog up the entire fucking system with filing charges against all of these old breaking politicians and police and shit and lawyers and shit. Jam their fucking courts with paperwork filing charges on them. If every fucking file they look at is like, damn, co-worker I've been working with for 15 years is being charged with something. What? Oh, so am I. Hey, so are you. This is your name right here. Do that to them. Fuck all they shit up. Pick a day, maybe even 2 days. Don't buy no gas. Don't shop at Walmart. Don't shop at Target. Fuck Target. They some weirdos. I could have sworn boys and girls and girls. I don't know how else you would like breed horses if you couldn't tell the difference between the male and the female. There's a biological lock and key system that kind of goes together when you take like the XX and the XY and you mix it together. You know that you can reproduce when you see these things. It's an indicator of how the procreation is supposed to go. That's what it is. It's kind of undeniable. I'm fucking tired of why the fuck, man, the fact that you even got to argue with that. It's like watching like two drunk people fight. Watching them argue and then fight. I'm talking about a clumsy drunk fight too, not like a real like serious fight, a clumsy ass drunk fight. That's what it's like watching like Democrats and Republicans argue over some shit, and then you be the only sober person involved, and you be like, both y'all dumb as fuck. I'm really about to punch the shit out of both of y'all. Like, fuck, stop fighting. That's what it feels like. Just disappointment, man. Disappointment, man. The racial divide, I'm just full of disappointment. It's weird that like racist white people or prejudice, I say prejudice white people. I think it's kind of hard to find a white person that has a cultural complaint about niggas that is also so dumb that if you point it out to them, that if sophisticated, educated, almost bougie, very classical in the way they dress and speak, well-read, any of these other qualifications that some white people don't even got any grounds to be trying to act prejudiced or racist, because they family be full of drug addicts and all of the things that they might stereotypically try to apply to black cultures. Like, you got family members that fit that well. How you even had the audacity to act like this? Like that's a racial thing. Y'all are weirdos, bro. Y'all weird. It's like y'all almost have to do this to like hyper focus on childish like little petty issues and ignore the rest of the world full of fucking contradictions to what it is that you got going on in your fucking little tiny little brain. You gotta force yourself to be like racist or prejudiced. I think you gotta almost force that shit, because there's too many examples that show you they're trying to blanket that over people. It just wouldn't work. It wouldn't be consistent if you had to keep on scoring how often you were right in that. Like, You'll have a low score. It's hard to make that stick. And to me, it can't get trying to make a stick could even be justified if I can find a white person to fit what it is that you're trying to stereotype about me. As soon as I do that, it's a cancellation of your score. Like we wouldn't get nowhere. You'd be like, man, this don't seem to be sticking. This ain't really working like this. You can't like categorize or classify people like this. It don't work. It ain't consistent enough. It won't get you nowhere. It'll get you fooled. And in some cases, it might get you beat up. You should relax. Like racial people, like racist people say weird shit, and the prejudiced people say weird shit. But a lot of motherfuckers do be prejudging. They don't really feel like they are superior to all black people. How can you feel like that? You know, goddamn well in the fucking game of life, if you want to call it the rat race or chasing the bag, being educated, being safe, cool, protectors of your children, and trustworthy of the same care for strangers' children, because you are a good person. You would never hurt no kids. You can only be beneficial to kids in your zone of influence, blah, blah, blah. If you think that all of this is a good person, you know that there's black people that fit that shit. And you'll be white and won't even fucking fit that shit well, but you got this like, this racial judgment. Y'all weird, man. Because in order for somebody to be fucking racist, you gonna have to be a perfect person too. How can you be racist and you ain't perfect? It's your family not perfect. It's wild. It's like nature's trying to tell you that if you be honest in your observation, you really shouldn't have too much to stand on to act like you're truly better than another human being. It should be hard to really stand on that and do that. And the only time you really can is in the moral arena, when you say that you are morally superior. It's the only time it really counts. Being superior at basketball, looking better than you ugly motherfuckers, is not going to make me better than you, even though you're not going to beat me in a one-on-one. And I'll take your bitch. I'm just joking, but none of that really that's not the who's the better human being. It's not on that. It's all about morality. Yeah, I had to hit because my battery dying. Yeah, I had to hit that because my battery dying, and when they do that, I got to hit the OK at the 20%, and then it be freezing the camera like that and shit. Man, what up to y'all, man? Engineer X, Truth Does Not Exist. What up, man? Um, yeah, hit the like button. Thanks, Engineer X. Ghost in this bitch. You on a night? You fresh out the night shift or some shit? That's crazy. Smokelahoma in this bitch. Bend over. What up? What up, Greenbox Media? Long time support. I fuck with Greenbox Media. Um, I mean so much of all the shit that I say, and I'm so passionate about what it is that I say, that when y'all rock with me and y'all understand where I'm coming from, at the very least, even if you don't agree with everything, if you can at least say, I understand what to make you feel like that, bro. Because you might think that maybe there's something that I'm not calculating into uh, uh, my evaluation of certain things, that had I been calculating that, then maybe I would slightly think different, because I'll be feeling like that about some of the shit that people think. So maybe somebody consider what I got going on is like, yeah, I can understand you, I can rock with you, I can understand where you're coming from, and I can appreciate that. But if you consider this, you might, and this is where we disagree. I know that's out there too, and that's cool. But if you truly rock with what I got going on with the open carry demonstrations, the whole intent on all that, all my fucking rancid bullshit from the car and shit like that, if you rock with me at all, man, I really appreciate that shit, man, because uh, uh, the communication about these topics are so serious, and I feel like not only are we fucking it up on a social level, that we should be having these discussions more, is that when we do have these discussions, then you see like conflicting ideas come together through CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, or some shit like that. It's always watered down. They never really dig deep into it and all that. They only give it to you to pacify you, to say that these things are coming about and this is how we're gonna handle it. Because nothing through the civil rights movement, through the 80s, the 90s, all the way up until now, man, none of that shit has led us to be in the clear. No more discussion to be had. The racial divide is no more. Like it never really went away, man. That entire civil rights era ended in a whole bunch of tragedy, a bunch of assassinations, and then here come the heroin and the coke and stuff, and then the crack. Like it never got better, and that's weird to me, because I do see the racial divide as some social engineering. That's exactly what it is that they did. They need this to be in this way for government and social business to be in the condition that it is right now. It is by design, and they needed to be like this because they could not have it be known that any identity that they hid from us as black people, they also hid it from the little white boys that were sitting next to you in these lying ass fucking classrooms. Um, and you have to recognize that that element in describing what it was that we was dealing with and that we still dealing with. You have to describe it in that way to be honest about what happened, and that should relieve some of the pressure that you have between you and the white boy who you work with, who might be prejudiced but not racist. He might be prejudging you, but he don't think that he's superior to all black people just because they black, because he know he can find black people that's living a life that he would envy, that have a higher moral high ground than he do. A black man that is a better fucking father. He knows that shit exists out there. The whole time he drinking, beating his girlfriend up. I don't know where he's got room to be racist. When he knows that all of the fucking flaws and downfalls of his life are being conquered successfully by some black man somewhere, some Mexican man somewhere. And then if you comparing things on a real level, that minority man who he might be prejudiced against might actually be nailed in life the way it's supposed to be, while he is watching himself fail in drug use and meth use and child abuse and anything else that white folks get involved in, just like anybody else does. I don't know how you can fucking have an imperfect life like that and then also choose to be prejudiced, or racist even. You are insane. You have a mental illness. It's a mental illness to do that. There's way too much of the world you have to ignore in order to stick to this delusion that you are superior because you are white, or that my kids are way more prone to violence because they're black, and your kids have. But man, come on, man. We measuring events and level of violence. You telling me there's some kids in Chicago in these fucking environments that they are in, they creates all of this, because those same kids couldn't act like that in the environment that you grew up in if you act like your home and how you was raised was superior, and your dad saved your ass with the ass whoopers, and you're a good old country white boy and blah blah blah. You're a superior man. The only thing you can think is your environment, and if you change environments, anybody can fit whatever mode it is that you thought that you fell into. It's an environmental thing. Because you might be a good old country white boy, or a good old classic all-American fucking white boy, whatever the fuck you think you is, that you think is better than somebody else. And you can look at this guy like Chris, what's his name? Chris something, I can't remember. This is about 4 or 5 years ago. Salt and pepper beard, short hair. The white boy that made national news that ended up killing his pregnant wife, and then they 3 children, or 2 little girls. 2 little girls, and his wife was pregnant. Smoked all their ass, put them inside these barrels or something that was found on location someplace where he works at or something like that, while he was trying to leave their life in the dirt to go run off with a bitch he was cheating with. Come on, man. That's a stereotypical kind of a white crime, to do that for insurance money or things like that, or over blackmail and like high levels of extortion and shit like that. The development and then the usage of nuclear weapons was a total fucking white. I don't know no niggas that was on the team that decided to make that shit or blow it up onto people, onto women and children. And we're measuring violence and blaming cultures and races in their entirety for what violence we can find on the earth that seems to put them in a moral disposition of inferiority. If that's what we doing, where that nuclear shit come from? Where it come from? Show me a black man that had anything to do with any of that. We didn't decide to drop that shit either. Is this what we're doing? Are we gonna be real? I don't. All the social divides. If you have honest discussions and talks and examinations of these things, you should be able to shame the ignorance out of a man. You would imagine, in an honest discussion. I would love to talk to a racist white dude and then try and change his mind. I think I can change his mind, or if not, I think I can make him feel so dumb that he'll go, "I'm never gonna talk to that nigga again." Not on camera. Not on camera. Would y'all like to see that? I might have to try to make that happen. I need to find a racist white guy who is open enough to say, I talked to a black guy who thinks that he can have an intellectual conversation with me about social issues in the state of America, and how I can just blame niggas for all of that shit. Like, I would like to talk to a white guy that feel like that. That feel like he in his bag with that. Can't nobody really deny where it is that he coming from. Speaking of that, somebody that I work with says that my open carry demonstrations wouldn't fly in a small Iowa town where she from, because not only is some of her family like kind of racist and shit, they got friends and stuff that they will have a point of contention seeing a black man out there with a gun. I go, well, they can't also then support the Constitution either. That's crazy. Oh, but they probably think that they good old American white boys in USA and Constitution and this great democracy and blah blah blah, and what black people are doing to ruin it. Whole time he will step away from completely honoring that Second Amendment and that Constitution when he sees me with the gun. I'll go there. I can't wait to go there. I'm gonna ask her today. Where is that you say you grew up at? I'm finna go do an open carry demo out there. I bet you ain't none of your brothers and none of his friends gonna say a fucking word to me on a race. I bet you they. I bet you they don't. That's a suicide mission. Cause not like I just rip off shots. I wouldn't do that. I'm not fucking insane. I'm good. I'm good. I'm smart. Too smart for that. I know not to uh uh I can't. I have to keep the moral high ground the whole time, or else I go to prison, and I know it. I'm not dumb. But what I would do is to go there to prove a point, because this is going to prove a point off top now. It's going to prove a lot of things. Either I show up where she expects that somebody would try to call me out. That's what she thinks. She thinks somebody will poke the bear. Um, if I show up and they don't, then they pussy. So there's that. If I show up and they do, that's going to prove that something as honorable as their fucking great ass fucking white man's constitution, something as great as that can be ignored, and to ignore that, they would have to be calling me less than human, and that the Second Amendment didn't apply to me. And they can make that argument right there in the corner too. I want to hear it, that if they love the Constitution so much, why the fuck don't they think it applied to me? I want him to say it right to my face, because you're not even human. If that wasn't for you, say it then. Because if he can't articulate it like that, then I ain't even gonna respect where he coming from after that. He gonna have to admit that it's just gonna make him look stupid. I want somebody to come out here to verbally say something. If they got real physical and things got like kind of crazy, it'd be proved that they're the violent ones, not me. Because I came out here for the hugs, and I can't even come out here with a sign that says hug an AR owner as an American doing what it is that they say is the American thing to do. These some good old country Iowa white boys, right? They had to prove that what it is that they thought that I was is actually them, and then they would deserve me shooting at them, and then that starts happening. So and I don't care about that either. Hey, it's whatever they want to do. But I'll go there though. I can't wait to find out where it is, because then I'm going to go down there. You think anybody going to say anything to me? I bet you they don't. It's a new small town, so I ain't going to front. I am going to call that police station so that when they get calls, let's say somebody calls and they jazz up the description. Can you describe the man with the gun? Yeah, it's the black guy, and he appears to have the gun in his hand, and he's talking like kind of loud. I don't want nobody to embellish. So, especially in a new town, and see the rappers, they can't run that. But in a new town where I ain't never been, I call them first, and I tell the police department that's what I'm doing. And since I don't know the town, I'd have to ride around to be sure that wherever I choose to post up, that might best support foot traffic and shit like that, that I'm also not like got my back to a school, and I don't know that that's a school like right there. So I had to make sure that that don't happen. So I gotta, comb the area out and check it out like Secret Service should have before somebody tried to dome shot Trump. Get the fuck out of here. I don't believe, man, whatever. But yeah, we see that the open carry demonstration prove a lot of shit. It's gonna call all that shit out. If they're not willing to die for whatever they think about black people, if they're not willing to bet their life on it, they should stop saying it. Don't make it a part of my life. All the sneak dissing and yeah, man, fuck all that. All of that is childish. All of that is childish behavior. If you feel that strongly about something so serious, be willing to die for it, or at least be open to discussion. Because I'll come out there to discuss it with them. That's super easy. But I bet you I go there. You can't tell me some shit like that, and then I don't go. If you challenge me like that, I'm gonna see that as a little bit of a challenge, and it's a challenge out of love too, because I think that a lot of people are taught. They might talk and act like that and put that image out there that they're capable of acting like that towards black people just because they black when there ain't no niggas around. When there's a nigga around and it's me and cuz, stop. And we armed as fuck, quit playing. In order to really confront us aggressively, you're going to also need a gun to bring a gun to the people who are out here with a sign asking for hugs. You're going to obviously be wrong. This is the point of everything that I do, is to prove that any initiation of force or violence towards me, y'all already know that I'm probably not even the one that's wrong in that. I can guarantee you I'm not going to be the one wrong in that, because this is how I approach everybody in life. So if some of these guys who she talking about, whether I wouldn't even know who they were, uh, I don't know no names and no faces and no shit like that. But if those people who feel like that, or even if they're people that she actually knows that will feel like that from a distance, but then actually see me, get out and talk to me, have a civil conversation, maybe even give me a hug to say, "You right, man. The government tweaking about this gun shit, and that's so spooky that I don't, that I can put things aside or look to a greater picture to not really have to be racist. I don't have to be racist. I just got a problem with this and that culturally, which I can understand. It's crazy because the things that y'all might not like stereotypically or culturally about black people, we don't like it either. We don't like that shit either. Y'all act like niggas like the hood. Niggas don't even be liking the hood like that. Motherfuckers be thinking of making a better life and living in a nice neighborhood with the picket fence type shit. Like niggas be wanting that shit too. We like peaceful, quiet neighborhoods and shit like that. But to act like environmentally, you cannot shape and mold the human perspective and the human mind and the human experience. You're out of your mind, dude. I don't care how white and country and all American you think you are. If your children were born in China and raised over there, learning their language and eating the food and going through the cultural and social influences, they wouldn't be so country hick like you. They just wouldn't. That's just not going to come out of them because it's in their blood. It's a learned environmental thing for you to even be who you are, bro. And with the true understanding of that, you'd have to say that even black culture that you don't like or feel safe about or around or in tune with, which I argue that try that shit in a small town. You sound like niggas saying, "Nigga, come to my block with that bullshit." We say the same thing. I think, yeah, man, I don't know, man. Y'all not, y'all don't, I don't know, man. It's sad, man. I think it just takes a little bit of uh, uh, intellectual. I, if you ask yourself if your feelings, your perspective is the result of somebody trying to fool you, and then you try to confirm what it is that you think you feel or try to deny what it is that you think you feel, maybe do both. um it's got to be a ballet of cognitive exercise, and you got to do a lot to try to stand firm on what you think as a human being, man. And I don't think people put enough effort into that. I think people like corny social media memes and shit like that, like totally define. And some people aren't expressive, so these things mean a lot to them when they can't express their own feelings. That they seem to find like some kinship in some of these memes and inspirational videos and inspirational speakers and shit like that. But I find 95% of that shit to be corny, cookie cutter, and sometimes like missing a point or missing elements that had you incorporated may have brought you to a different conclusion, which I would imagine some people might think about me. But you can challenge me on that. I'm willing to debate people that agree with me, that don't agree with me, and all of that. We can talk things out and iron things out, because I think the truth really is in the detail. They say the devil's in the detail, but I think the truth is too, because I think if you describe with detail what it is we got going on with the racial divide, for example, you can see that it's all silly and it looks like it's really good for distraction and then nothing else really. It's not good for nothing else. It don't really get us nowhere. It only gets us to pretend like somehow that we are so different that it's worth saying fuck them just because you got your uniform on. Your skin is your uniform, bro. We not the same, and that's what we are. I think when people can break down human interaction to something like that, you have been brainwashed, because you couldn't get kids to come to this conclusion by themselves. You have to teach them that shit. You get a group of 20 kids of mixed races, especially if they find themselves having to depend on each other for safety, love, and communication and community and shit like that. You couldn't then later convince them that all of that love and shit that they needed each other to survive with and to survive on, none of that matters, because it can all be trumped by the fact that they all got different color skin and hair color and eye color and shit. They would think that you were the fucking psycho, and they'd be right. None of that shit makes any fucking sense at all, man. You can always put anything above that. As soon as you can say that something can make the race thing not matter, as soon as you can find that, then that becomes the truth, and it totally diffuses the idea of hanging on race as a fucking identifying mark of to be deserving of rights or freedom or peace or safety or none of that shit. That can't be a determining factor. You have to be a maniac. You have to be insane on either side of the table to be racist, man. You crazy. And a lot of y'all know goddamn you're not superior. You know goddamn right you're not superior. You're scared. Prejudice is based on fear because you prejudge people and then you take a negative connotation to your prejudging, and then you just insist on standing there until you're proven otherwise. And I've met white people that are like that, that they come off as racist, then they get to know me, and then they go, man, I don't dislike all black people, man. It's just this, and then sometimes they open up and they just say that the culture just seems to be super random and violent and wild and like kind of out of control. But then they forget that there's people in their family that act like that. And then when I ask them, how is it that we can find these similarities between some black people and some white people when you act like this is a black cultural thing about how did these two different situations come to this conclusion, then you can figure it out. A lack of a strong father in the family. Either the father was abusive or he wasn't there at all. Or there's some drug use, alcoholism, or something like that. In the mother, especially if she's a single mother, you can look at the economical status of the single mother. If you find these things to be common between a black story and a white story, you can start going through all this shit and you go, oh, that's what the difference is and what the similarities are. It's like social, economic shit, and if the father's in the house and not that plays a big role, that starts to bring us to similar grounds right away when you start equating that trait. You can iron this shit out and realize that racial shit is like, y'all crazy, man. It's all environmental. It's all environmental. And that's weird. Because y'all look at black culture and go, violence, but where the fuck did the fucking nuclear weapons come from? We talking about violence. Why y'all ignore that part? You should see that as a fucking racist white man or a prejudiced white man and go, oh fuck, I think he got me. I think we're the ones that are initiating all of the violence. The greatest violence that the world has ever seen was actually, white skin, blonde hair, blue eyes, brown hair, hazel eyes, brown hair, green eyes. It's these kinds of combinations. And cultural influence and racial and religious influence and shit. That's where the greatest acts of violence actually came from in the world, actually. I mean, Genghis Khan, he wrecked some shit, and he wasn't one of y'all. He fucked some shit up. Um, his story is crazy. Um, which just begins to unravel the whole thing that people are just violent. Idi Amin was a violent person, black as fuck. Um, humanity is just violent. Y'all don't know that? Y'all sound dumb as fuck. Motherfuckers be stupid. Motherfuckers be dumb, man. But RPM Trade Vietnam and this bitch, I gotta get out of here. Wu Bang, get a gun today. Stop being manipulated by all of the bullshit. Everything they do, they're constantly lying to you. They can't even rule the world unless they dominate your entire human existence from all angles, from the food, the medicine, the media, the music, the movies, the sports, the politics, the money system, the military industrial complex. All they got to do is scare the fuck out of you and make you stupid. You'll be putty in their hands. Don't be crazy. Yeah, racism is fucking brainwashing. That shit'll never work. I would never use race as a determining factor to decide whether or not my kids are safe. Why would I do that? Oh, it's a black babysitter. I must be good. Black power. Man, niggas diddle kids too. Are you crazy? Black folks do that shit to kids too. I would put my kids in danger if I thought all I needed was a daycare provider or a babysitter that was black, and then that was all the qualifications that I needed. Because I would definitely look deeper than that. You would get your kids fucked up in life if you was using race and nothing else to determine whether they were safe or not. You see, that shit don't really work. You couldn't do that. The actual responsibility of keeping your kids safe would draw you into the deeper things that make more sense, the things that matter. Character. What kind of character do the people have if I'm entrusting in you to fucking take care of my kids while I'm working? You gonna look deeper than that race? I bet you do. Life is telling you what the fucking truth is, and y'all still move on to be prejudiced and racist. Y'all funny, man, and y'all get what y'all deserve. I think y'all some bitches, man. Everybody bitches. Everybody's so dangerously stupid, man, that you latch on to things in life and you think that you got life figured out, and you think that, yeah, it's crazy, man. And then you can't even hold your shit consistent. You can't even hold it consistent. I don't know, man. don't know. Y'all be all right. Wu Bang, man. Get a gun today. Stop being a bitch, okay? All right? Okay? You promise?